point.
How many?
Well,
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Angelica. How many genders are there?
2.
There are 2 genders.
Oh.
Wow. So you don't believe in transgenders at all?
Well, I think there are.
Whoa, hang on. Whoa.
What's going on, guys? Pastor Frederick here. I stumbled across a video of a trans activist getting absolutely exposed on, of all places, the Piers Morgan show. Now, I'm not really a fan of Piers Morgan, but I'm a fan of this take he has on this whole identity of being trans. It doesn't matter what political side you're on, but when it comes to this issue, anybody can see with common sense that this is a failed world view. I want you to watch this video of Piers Morgan interviewing and exposing this trans activist by simply asking her questions and letting her expose the trans ideology herself. This is a masterclass, and hopefully she went home and thought about this whole situation. I'm gonna play some clips and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it.
You're the British Prime Minister. What is a woman?
Yeah, of course I know what a woman is. An adult human female.
It's not difficult, is it, Angelica? I mean, that is what a woman is.
I mean, I don't know why you're obsessed with defining it. Like, what is a man? Like, why do we need these arbitrary...
A man is a male adult human. I mean, that's it.
Right, OK. I don't know that we need
these are just biological facts, but they're just facts. They're not arguable points, are they?
But I think we have a right to self-identify. And you said
As
you
what?
want to...
As what?
If you would like to be a woman, you can identify as a woman. I don't know why there is such an issue around...
Now, this is the beginning of the lunacy. She said that anybody can self-identify. If you want to be a woman, you could be a woman. Just arbitrarily, right? Just throw out the biological facts. Throw out the fact that there's male and female, right? That's just a fact of life, science. Just throw that out. You can identify what you want. This is postmodernism. This is arbitrary. This is dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
We've literally just seen a male rapist use that scam to get himself put into a female prison where he could attack vulnerable women inside a female prison, when even his ex-wife said it was all a scam. Which
is a terrible, very distressing, isolated incident. And I think it's easy to take that and say that means that no one can identify as a woman.
But I don't think this is an isolated event. This is happening more frequently as this trend becomes more popular on social media. People are seeking counsel from social media as opposed to professionals. And they're allowing social media to give them the definitions and the language for how they feel. And these individuals on social media are just giving their arbitrary opinion, and it's not based in reality. So if you're using social media to define your reality, and social media is a fantasy, it is just the highlights of people's best moments, you are getting a small sample size of the truth about this identity, and it leads to disastrous consequences. But this is not an isolated event.
42% of trans-identifying prisoners in prison are in there for sex crimes. There's actually an advantage, evidently, to identifying as a female, because they never identify as male, because somehow male prisons seem less appealing to them. It's really weird. Anyway, but
is it limitless, this self-identity?
It's not totally limitless.
What's the limit?
When you're talking about International Women's Day, I don't know why we take the conversation around International Women's Day and make it about this.
But if anyone,
there's so many benefits.
Right, but if anyone, according
day.
to you, can identify as a woman, anyone can, right?
I don't see a problem with
just literally put the hand up and say I'm a woman.
But
it is easy to do what she's claiming it's not easy to do. Anybody can just self-identify and say I'm a woman arbitrarily, period. What's hard is to accept that perhaps you just have some awkwardness as a man and you are uncomfortable with yourself and you need some help, you need counseling, you need therapy. That's the hard part. Easy part is just identifying as a woman and just pretending to be something that you're not. Listen to Piers Morgan. This is hilarious.
It's very easy.
Very easy.
You might think it's easy to say, but to decide to do that, to say
what
this
is
is
doing
who,
it involve?
Whatever that person decides, but to
Does
go
it
out
involve
into the
makeup?
world and say, I don't identify as perhaps the sex I
So
was
why
born
can't
as.
I
It's
identify?
not-
Okay, why can't I identify as a black lesbian?
Well, firstly, I mean, it was.
I'm serious. I'm serious. If I can identify as anything without any need to prove I'm actually what that is, why can't I, on International Women's Day, say I'm Piers Morgan, I'm a black lesbian?
I think taking it to a kind of absurd status,
I think
we're
that's
talking
what.
about quite a
with
strong
respect, I
physical
think that
change.
you'd already opened the absurdity door by saying it is limitless. You can.
So it's absurd to identify as a black lesbian, but it's not absurd for anybody to just self-identify as anything they want. This is the logical ground being removed from this worldview. They have nothing to stand on. The absurdity has already been introduced to the conversation when she said that anybody can self-identify. That's when the absurdity entered the chat. That's when absurdity entered the conversation. What Piers Morgan is doing is just showing her how ridiculous it is. The issue is these individuals do not like truth. They want truth to be subjective. They want truth to be whatever they can realize it to be, as opposed to what comports with reality. And reality says that there are only two genders. But I wonder if she actually agrees with that, because if there is only two genders, then transgenderism is a myth. Let's see.
Point.
How many?
Well,
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Angelica. How many genders are there?
2.
There are 2 genders.
Oh.
Wow. So you don't believe in transgenders at all?
Well, I think there are.
Whoa, hang on. Whoa. There are 2 genders.
Well, it's taught in.
Well, why did you say well?
Whoa. As Piers Morgan said, she says there's 2 genders, but she's a transgender activist.
You've literally just launched this huge defense of transgenderism. Now you've eradicated it.
I think
If there are 2 genders, you mean male and female, right?
There's gender fluidity. I will.
Fluid between what?
Between what?
Between different identities, and we can choose different
You
identities.
see how difficult this is, though?
But it is difficult. But I think making.
But it's not difficult until you make it difficult. You see, the BBC has done teaching videos to 11 and 12-year-olds where they say there are 100 genders. One of them was astrogender, which is an affinity with the stars and the galaxy. My response to that on the last show I did was to say, well, in that case, I identify as a 2-spirit penguin. I was then told I was being ridiculous, but I made the same point. The ridiculousness is the BBC teaching kids there are 100 genders. There aren't. It is absurd.
Reality is reality. And when we can actually admit reality, we can begin the process of leading a normal, healthy life. This is what people need to hear. They need to hear the truth, because the truth will set you free. Lies will take you to the point of no return. Living with this conflict is not going to have sustainable benefits to your life. Studies show that identifying and transitioning and all those things does not have long-lasting benefits. What has those benefits is accepting reality, getting an actual diagnosis, then going to the Lord and submitting and surrendering your life to the Lord, because you are not your own. If you are a Christian, you cannot be trans, because your body is not your own. You belong to God. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So you have to surrender your body. You have to submit yourself and deny your urges, deny your flesh. The solution is the gospel. And let the Holy Spirit cleanse you, wash you through the process of regeneration, being born again, changing your heart's desires. That's what God will do. But if you're holding on to this identity while still trying to be a Christian, that is a contradiction. You cannot have this identity sacred from the Holy Spirit. It's like saying, I don't want the Holy Spirit. I want to continue being alcoholic, but I want to be a Christian. I want to get drunk all the time. I identify as a drunk and I'm going to stay drunk, but I want to be a Christian. You're not a Christian. But if you give that over to God, if you say, Lord, I struggle with alcoholism, heal me from this, cleanse me, lead me to the help I need here on this earth, you cannot hold on to this false identity, because it is going to lead you to eternal damnation, eternal separation from God. You don't want that. This is just proof that even the trans activists, in their heart of hearts, they know that there are only 2 genders. Even transgenders know there are only 2 genders, but they're living in rebellion. Thank you, Piers Morgan, for exposing this truth to millions of people. And hopefully they see that this worldview is faulty. It is self-defeating. It implodes in on itself when you just push it just a little bit and you ask very specific questions and show the absurdity of self-identifying. It leads to insanity. This is a major issue in our country, but if you want to see some countries that take a stand against this, I suggest you watch this video right here. If you enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Like this video. I'll be back next week with another one. This is Pastor Frederick. This is By the Book. Peace.